Hello, this is yours truly, JBlue68. I would like to say welcome to the JBlue community. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, for liking, sharing, and commenting. Please continue to do so and tap the notification bell so you get more videos like this as I post them immediately. Today is Wednesday, June the 14th. We're already almost halfway through the month and exciting things are coming. And before I get into this haul, again, I do want to say thank you for my subscribers, for your many views and comments. I kind of laughed a little, chuckled a little bit because I'm looking at this cover here. And this is kind of how I felt after I got off of work yesterday. Dealing with some of the people that I have to deal with, unfortunately, throughout the course of the day. This is, we're going to do a comic book haul based on Marvel, DC, and some independent comic books. We're going to just combine them all in this haul instead of separating them. I will say too that these comic books are like about 2 weeks old. These are not this week's comics. These are comics from the previous 2 weeks. I'm just now getting them. So don't shoot me. Don't shoot me down because of that. So we have first off Hulk Annual #1. And that is a very, very cool and scary cover there. It features an exclusive preview of the next month's Incredible Hulk #1 by Johnson, Foreman, and Wilson. I absolutely love that cover. I haven't had a Hulk comic book in a minute. Always good to see the Hulk in action there. So, yep, we have Hulk #1 from Marvel Comics. And then next up we have Warlock Rebirth #1. I already have this comic book. What is this doing in this haul? Okay, I'm going to have to get on my local comic book shop for this. This is a dupe, but okay. I already have this book, so we're just presenting it again. Sorry about that, folks. And we have issue number 34. Issue number 34 of Thor. Okay, a lot going on there. We have looks like Thanos, Doctor Doom, Thor, and somebody else on the cover there. There's a lot going on. And as I said, I haven't really read a Thor comic book in a while. It's kind of lost my interest after the Donny Cates issue stopped. Or Donny Cates run stopped, I should say. Okay. And speaking of Thor, I just want to show this. This is going to be, this is Marvel Previews. And it's previewing Thor, a new Thor issue that will be starting pretty soon, written by Al Ewing, covered by Alex Ross, and it says The Immortal Thor #1. Well, I don't understand that because I've always thought that Thor was immortal. He's an Asgardian, right? He's a god, small g. But okay, anyway. So Immortal Thor #1. Then we have Captain America Cold War Part 4, Symbol of Truth. Okay, and it looks like some kind of skirmish going on between Sam Wilson's Captain America and, of course, Steve Rogers. That's been going on for quite some time. All right. Then we have Doctor Strange, issue number 3 by Jed MacKay. Interesting cover there. And as I said, these comics are like a week to about 2 weeks old. So if you have seen these in other comic book haul videos, then very good. But I'm showing them now in my video, in case you have or have not. It says, plus a story by guest starring Sister Grimm by Chu, Toki Tokuro, and Proto Bunker. All right. So this is celebrating 60 years of Doctor Strange, I believe. That says right there, 60 years. Okay. Next up, we have The Amazing Spider-Man #26, and something happens in this issue that's supposed to be a really big deal. The death of a very important character. I don't know who it is yet. This is by Wells with artwork by John Romita Jr., who I've said time and time again, he's not my favorite artist. I know he's very well known and renowned, but I do think he does a very good job of drawing Spider-Man and Norman Osborn. Okay. All right, and several characters on this cover. Mary Jane, who I recognize, Norman Osborn, looks like Miss Marvel, Aunt May, Jonah Jameson, Black Cat, Captain America, a couple other people. Okay, so I guess one of them dies. All right, so moving on here. Next up, we have Carnage, issue number 13. And I did see in the Marvel previews, they're supposed to have something, it's supposed to be called The End of the Carnage Universe, or something that's coming out, will be coming out pretty soon. So you might want to read these books if you had not, as it preludes into that upcoming storyline or story arc. And then we have part 5 of Captain America Sentinel of Liberty. Okay. And of course, we know we have the 4th of July coming up, so Captain America is a really big deal right about now. Okay, let's keep these in order here. And I have a lot of books to show, so just bear with me. Okay, so Captain America Sentinel of Liberty, number 5, and then Fantastic Four, number 8, The Case of the Mystery Menace. Okay, and that's another cover by Mr. Alex Ross. Very recognizable artwork there. What else back there? And then we get into the X-Men stories. It's X-Men Mutant Fire Strike number 1, Before the Fall. As we get ready for the story arc, another story arc that Marvel will be doing, The Fall of X. And this is issue number 1, written by Orlando, Penty, and William, contributing to the story. Interesting cover. There's a really cool cover here. This is issue number 12 of the Immortal X-Men. Okay, and that's Kitty Pryde, I believe, and our boy Colossus. Looks like he has a beard and a mustache going on there. All right. Then X-Men number 23 by Jerry Duggan, Cassara, and Cuniff. Looks like a Sentinel mixed with Iron Man type armor. And I am way behind in my X-Men read, so I don't really know what's going on in these stories. So I've said that before. Then we have the Invincible Iron Man next, by Jerry Duggan, the same guy who's writing the X-Men. And yeah, Tony Stark on the cover there, 60 years, celebrating 60 years of Iron Man. This is the Invincible Iron Man number 7. Very cool cover there. And of course, that looks like RDJ, right? That being Robert Downey Jr. And their continuation, they're trying to revive the Iron Man comic books. Then we get into Daredevil by Chip Zdarsky, an award-winning comic book. I mean, it hasn't won an award yet, but I'm quite sure it will. It's received a lot of rave reviews from readers. Yeah, cool cover there. Okay. All right, and moving on with writer Taboo, B. Earl, and Phil Nodal, artist. And Taboo, of course, I believe from, what was it, Black Eyed Peas? This is Daredevil and Echo. And of course, as you probably know, this was supposed to be a series on Disney Plus. And it was supposed to actually have been out in February, but a lot of Marvel TV, Disney Plus projects and in movies have been pushed back for various reasons. And this show, to my understanding, won't be out until I think next year. Either the end of this year or next year. Let me take a sip of coffee, excuse me. Out of my I Have Issues cup. Okay, and if you don't know anything about Echo, she's a deaf superhero. And of course, Daredevil is a blind superhero. So that will be interesting to see the series when it comes out. And they showed her character. She debuted in the Hawkeye series, which came out last year. Okay, so which starred, of course, Jeremy Renner and Haley Steinfeld, who actually Haley Steinfeld is the voice of Spider-Gwen in the Miles Morales animated movie Across the Spider-Verse. So she actually is playing a dual role in the MCU. But anyway, back to the comic books. This is issue number 1 of Daredevil and Echo. And then we have Deadly Regenesis, the story continuing adventures of Laura Kinney, also known as X-23, who is the cloned daughter of Logan, the Wolverine. All right, very cool cover there. She's doing a high kick there, fighting against an enemy, a foe. All right, and we're back to the Hulk. So let's get our next batch of comics out. Let's see. If I might. The next lot of comics, which will be DC Comics. Okay, starting with a comic that I'm very excited to read. Story based off of one of the members of the Justice League on his own. Issue number 1 of From the Dawn of DC, and this is Cyborg number 1. Welcome Home, Victor Stone. Okay. Now I've heard some things about this book, so I don't want to give away any spoilers, but I think he's coming back. He's supposed to be having his adventures or his story taking place somewhere in Detroit. So I'm excited to hear that. I'm being a native Detroiter myself. I believe it's this story. I might be wrong. But anyway, hopefully I'm right. So anyways, Cyborg issue number 1. Yeah, it says here, Ford something. Laugh Out Loud Titans. It looks like the Detroit Tigers right there. So I know that he was a former football player, Victor Cyborg. So I think I'm right about this. Let's just open it up and take a look really quick. I want to be accurate in the information that I give when it comes to comic books. And we'll get a chance to see the interior art, or the artwork from the pages. Okay, let's take a look. Fam. Let's see. Okay, so there's the artwork. Yeah, not liking that at all. Let's see. I don't like the interior artwork. It looks kind of goofy. No offense to the artists. I know that they do a lot of work on these these comic books. Let's see. I don't know about this artwork, man. Really, I don't. I'm just trying to get to the synopsis of the story to see if I'm right, if this takes place in Detroit. DC Prime. Let's see if we can get this other page turned here. Yeah. Okay. Just looking to see what this says. Yep. That's Victor Stone, 3-time high school national football champ, Mr. Basketball of Michigan, and 4-time Golden Gloves winner, if anyone is him. I'm just reading this panel right here. So, yeah, I think I'm right. This does take place in Detroit, Michigan. So, okay. They could have done a lot better with their artwork, though, man. That artwork is not very impressive at all. So sorry. But I have to say that. Excuse me. All right, let's move on here. More DC Comics. So next up we have Milestone's DC collaboration with Icon and Hardware. And this is issue number 3 of that series, or Icon versus Hardware. Very cool cover there, by the way. Loving that. And we have Static Shock, Shadows of Dakota, issue number 4. By Nicholas Draper Ivy, Vita Ayala, and Will Quintana. All right. And we have Green Arrow number 2. Very much enjoyed number 1. This is from the Dawn of the DC universe as well. Okay. And some books in here that are not supposed to be in here. Let's swipe those out really quick. I did that really quick so that you wouldn't see those. Okay, and that's it for now for the DC comics. As we're back to Cyborg. Let's get up the next batch of comic books. So I got a lot here. Okay. All right. Okay. And this will be the final lot, I hope, anyway. You can fit all those there. And here we have Planet of the Apes, issue number 1. And, of course, as you can see, well, let me first say this, is that I am a fan of the Planet of the Apes. I own all the original films, which starred, of course, the late, great Roddy McDowall and Charlton Heston. I enjoy the movies very much. A lot of political messages that were actually in political vibes that were in the original Planet of the Apes, which I won't care to get into that deep discussion right now. But yeah, I enjoy the original series. I did not enjoy the one with, what was his name? Matt Wahlberg, the Wahlberg guy. I didn't enjoy that movie at all. But the new ones that were done, I thought were very, very, very good. Yeah, so we have, and this is a 20th Century Fox production, by the way. We see the 20th Century Fox logo. It looks like Disney has acquired all of the classic 20th Century Fox movies. Alien, Predator, and now they have Planet of the Apes. So yeah, here we are, Planet of the Apes issue number 1. I have not read this yet, but I can't wait to. But I do absolutely love the artwork. And they actually had a short box too that they designed after this, which is really cool. All right. And then here's issue number 2, Planet of the Apes. Okay. Loving that artwork, man. That is really cool. Speaking of Alien, here's Alien again with the 20th Century Fox logo. And this is issue number 2 of a restart of Alien, which they have done several times. They've continued to restart the stories. But I must admit, so far, I have enjoyed what they've done with the Alien series. I'm a little behind on my reading of the series, but I do know what's going on. It's like they switch up back and forth between alternate stories, but yet at the same time connect the overall story arc, if that makes sense. Okay. And then we get into the Ambassadors, issue number 5. This is the final issue of this series. I read issue number 1. I haven't read the other books yet, but now that I have the final book, I can read them back to back. This is by Mark Millar and Matteo Buffani, if I'm pronouncing that name correctly, The Ambassadors. And it's basically a story about a woman who gives superpowers to 5 different, I don't know how many different people she gives powers to. But she gives superpowers to a couple of people, a handful of people from around the world, and sees how they actually use, their powers to help mankind or humanity or whatnot. That's pretty much the overall synopsis of the story, but it's a little bit more deeper than that. Okay. And we have one of the cheapest comic books on the market right now. This is Nightclub, also written by Mark Millar, but with artwork by Juanan Ramirez. $1.99. $1.99. This is from Image Comics. Very cool there. The only other cheapest comic book that I know of course, is, and I've said before, Todd McFarlane comics, which are $2.99. But hey, Todd McFarlane, they got you beat. All right. Then we have Wesley Snipes from Whatnot Comics with The Exiled, issue number 4. I think there's one more issue to go with this series. Wesley Snipes, The Exiled. Very cool cover there, by the way. Let's just take a really quick look at the artwork here in this book. I don't want to look at too much though, because I haven't read the series yet. And give away the plot. Oh wow, look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful artwork there. Wesley Snipes, Adam Lawson, and Keith Aram contributing to this story. That's nice. I love the colors there and the panels. one more, take a look at 2 more pages actually. All right, very cool there. All right, yep, written by Wesley Snipes, The Exiled. And next up we have, hold on, Terror War, issue number 2. I did read issue number 1. For the most part, I enjoyed it. It was cool. It would be interesting to see it ended kind of a little differently than what I thought it would end. Issue number 1 did. So I can't wait to read issue number 2, the follow-up, to see what happens in the events of this story. This is by Saladin Ahmed, by the way. Very good comic book writer, and again, a guy who I've had the pleasure of meeting, though. It's been a while since I've seen him. And I think I mentioned that he was at Green Brain Comics out in Dearborn, Michigan, about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, doing autographs and things like that. Next up, we get into Todd McFarlane, Image Comics. We have King Spawn, issue number 22. All right, cool cover there. And we have Spawn from Image Comics, issue number 342. Okay. And then also in part of the Spawn universe, we have Scorched number 18. All right, very good. Which features She-Spawn. This guy here, I forgot his name. I think I don't know. He's like some kind of angel or something like that. Okay. All right, let's move on here. Excuse me. Then we have World Tree, written by James Tynion, James Tynion, the writer of Something is Killing the Children, and also the Blue Book, which I think is in this haul. Here's World Tree issue number 2. Okay. And here's World Tree issue number 1. So I have them out of order there, but that's okay. Image Comics, and I've heard a lot of good things about this book. Can't wait to read it. And then we have Gargoyles, issue number 6 from Dynamite Comics. Look at that cover, man. Wow. Very mysterious, dark, foreboding, and romantic. Looks like she's grabbing his cheek there. Some kind of love embrace on a dark, cold, starry night. And then the comic book that I just mentioned, and I am up to date on this read, issue number 4 of James Tynion, the Blue Book. This is the X-Files meets Nope. If you ever seen the movie Nope. But this story kind of reminds me of that. And of course, I'm sure you know what the X-Files is. And this is from Dark Horse Comics. And then Indigo Children number 3. Read issue number 2. Very good series here. Highly recommended. Kind of similar to the other book I just showed in terms of story, in terms of a storyline. What was it? The Ambassadors. We have these group of children who were part of some kind of extraterrestrial select group who have special powers, and the governments of the world are trying to control them, either control them or destroy them, and they're using their powers for different reasons as related to events that are going on in the world, either domestic, foreign, domestic, and local, if that makes sense. All right. But anyway, issue number 3 of Indigo Children from Image Comics again. And then another series is interesting. It's issue number 2 of All 8 Eyes. I read issue number 1. It was rather bizarre and creepy. And this cover is kind of creepy too. It's issue number 2. Get it from another book from Dark Horse Comics. I can't wait to read issue number 2 to see what happens. But it deals with a bunch of spiders, basically. Gigantic spiders. Spiders the size of dogs, others the size of cars, who are actually, who are secretly living in the underground and in tunnels, and have been committing all kinds of atrocities throughout the city of, I think it's New York, Manhattan, or Brooklyn, one of them. So it's in New York somewhere. All right. All 8 Eyes, issue number 2. And of course, I had to be impressed by number 1 to get number 2. Then we have book number 3 of The Neighbors from Boom Studios. I remember reading issue number 1. I haven't read issue number 2 yet. And of course, as always, sounding like a broken record, I'm always behind on my comic book reading. I hope to get caught up soon. And this really cool cover here of The Rocketeer. I love this. It's from IDW Comics. It has that very retro 1940s type look. Of course, the Rocketeer is a character of that time. This is a one-shot, by the way. Almost looks like the character, I think her name is Betty Page or something like that. So, but yeah, very cool cover there. I had to get this in my collection. So that's it. We're back to issue number 1, Planet of the Apes. And this is part published by Marvel Comics. I think I did say that. So that is my comic book haul. I hope that you've enjoyed this haul. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Give the video a thumbs up and tap the notification bell again so you get more videos like this as I post them immediately. Happy Comic Book Wednesday. Read a comic book and support your local comic book stores. All right, that's all. That's it. That's all, y'all. Thank you again for joining me. Peace, love, and hair grease.